Welcome to Content Distribution Issues, the fifth lesson of SEP 14, Maintain and Troubleshoot. In this video, I'll walk you through how to troubleshoot and resolve group update provider issues. Let's get started. The content update process for GUPs has multiple stages. In the first step, the GUP wakes up and starts to listen on port 2967 for new requests. In step 2, LiveUpdate runs on the SEPM and new content is downloaded. Then the SEP client performs a heartbeat to the SEPM. But when it checks in with the GUP doesn't have the content, so it contacts the SEPM. In step 4, the SEP client continues to connect to the GUP, seeking new content. Meanwhile, the SEPM continues to build content, and the GUP continues to check in with the SEPM, then retrieving content. The GUP saves the output to a local cache, from which the SEP client retrieves the content from the GUP. By keeping the content in the local cache, SEP clients on the same revision can request the same content from the GUP. I've included some common scenarios that can cause content updates to fail from a group update provider. If the client is not becoming a GUP, review the GUP settings in the LiveUpdate settings policy. For GUPs unable to download content updates, verify the GUP can communicate with the SEPM. If some clients are retrieving updates and others fail, check to see if GUP throttling is enabled. There are two types of bandwidth throttling. Bandwidth throttling between GUP and SEPM could be responsible for a GUP not retrieving update from the SEPM. The GUP may be able to ping a SEPM, but if there are bandwidth issues, it may not be able to download content. Bandwidth throttling between GUP and clients could cause failure of some of the client downloads. You can review the GUP throttling settings in the LiveUpdate settings policy. It could also be a network issue in which you need to verify communication ports are open at the firewall. Let's apply the troubleshooting methodology for resolving group update provider issues. During the gather evidence phase, you gather logs. You can review group update provider activity from the SEP client, GUP, and the SEPM. From the SEP client, review the system logs to see content update activity to the GUP. You can also enable side-link logging via Symdiag or the Windows registry. Side-link logging records communication between the SEP client, SEPM, and GUP. From the GUP, reference the system logs to see requests from the client and requests to the SEPM for new content. Side-link logging records the requests the GUP makes to the SEPM for new content. Debug logging records the requests from the clients for new content. From the SEPM, you can observe client activity in the system logs. Filter by side-link to see GUP-related events. The Content Distribution Monitor tool is another approach to gathering evidence. This tool provides central management of GUPs by providing the following: single consolidated status view on all GUPs that are configured in the SEPM database, including those that reside in different SEPM domains, status on how many clients are downloading content directly from the SEPM, provides visibility on how many SEP clients are bypassing the GUPs and downloading content directly from the SEPM. It also confirms GUPs that are actively responding to SEP client requests, and if the GUP is not responding to requests, the monitor can restart the GUP. The monitor runs on any computer that has connectivity to the SEPM database and Apache web server. For more information on this topic, see the KBs listed on the screen. Now that we've gathered evidence, it's time to research the issue. When researching a GUP issue, use the following plan of action. Confirm that client communication works between the SEPM to the GUP and the client. You can quickly test this with the contentinfo.txt file and a browser. Review the GUP settings in the Assign LiveUpdate settings policy. Verify that Use a Group Update Provider is enabled and review the settings. Validate the GUP status on the SEP client and SEPM. Examine the content updates that the SEPM and GUPs are using in the contentinfo.txt file. Use a browser and the contentinfo.txt for troubleshooting the connection and the transfer of files between computers. Contentinfo.txt exists on the SEPM and lists the content updates that the SEPM has. The slide uses the default ports of 8014 and 2967 for communication. Note that SEP 14 also uses the default port of 443 for clients. You can also telnet to 2967 on the GUP and see the connection in the GUP logs. If the connection fails, verify the DNS service and check its routing path. It's also a good idea to do basic network testing between the SEPM, GUP, and SEP clients to ensure communication works. For more information on this topic, see the KBs listed on the screen. Review the GUP settings in the LiveUpdate settings policy. In the server settings, verify that Use a group update provider is enabled. Click on Group Update Provider to view settings. After reviewing the GUP configuration in the LiveUpdate settings policy, validate the GUP status. On the client designated as a GUP, view the system log to ensure that it received policy updates. You can also review this on the SEPM in the client activity logs. Ensure that a shared updates folder resides in the client's SEP install folder. The GUP stores the content in the shared updates directory. On the SEPM, ensure that the client is added to the globallist.xml file. From the SEPM, locate the GUP using the Search Clients feature. Examine the shared updates directory to determine what the clients are downloading from the GUP. If empty, enable Sylink and debug logging on the group update provider. For more information on this topic, see the KB listed on the screen. Determine what clients are downloading from the GUP in the system log. The client system log displays the content downloaded from a GUP, the GUP network information, and whether it downloaded a full .zip or a delta. After establishing a plan of action, it's time to repair and validate. The screen shows some examples of GUP corrective actions. Update the policy configuration, resolve communication issues on the GUP, increase GUP throttling settings, and address network communication issues. When you follow best practices, Symantec supports a GUP to provide content for up to 10,000 SEP clients. However, if a GUP is running on a computer that also performs other functions, such as a domain controller, web server, or file server, you also want to consider the impact of the shared resource usage. Ensure that SEPM clients are running the latest or the same version of Symantec Endpoint Protection. Configure SEP clients to receive content updates from the SEPM and public LiveUpdate servers for when a GUP is not available. Allow sufficient bandwidth between SEPM and GUP to download full and delta content. GUPs need to have sufficient bandwidth to deliver up to approximately 170 megabytes of content 3 times per day for dark network clients. For standard SEP clients, this number is approximately 99.5 megabytes. The larger the spread of definition revisions used by the clients, the larger the bandwidth usage between the SEPM and GUP. Symantec recommends using high-speed connections. Ensure that the machine used as a GUP has sufficient reserves of CPU memory disk capacity to allow for its normal operations while serving as a GUP. GUPs must have enough physical hard drive space to cache content. A minimum of 1 gigabyte is recommended. For more information on this topic, see the KB listed on the screen. In this lesson, you learned how to describe the group update provider process. You also learned how to troubleshoot and resolve group update provider issues. For more information about the topics discussed in this lesson, refer to the resources listed on this slide, and remember to frequently check the Symantec support website. Thank you for watching this video.